Hi again, I'm working on the Etesia with the Honda 13 horsepower engine, and I had carb problems. What would happen in the old carb was leaking out the overflow. I cleaned it and everything. I tried the new needle valve in, what I bought. That didn't really help matters. And the problem I've got now is it still is overfueling with another carb on. This is a new carb where I had to do a few alterations on, mainly the choke bit, and only just file out the back holes there, because it's sort of come out fatter at the back. That's all I've had to do, but it's overfueling, which it shouldn't overfuel, because the needle valve the float should go up and should stop that happening. But for some reason it isn't. So I'm not really quite sure what the problem is. So I'm going to take, I can see it now, it's dripping now, so I'm not really quite sure what the problem is. It shouldn't be overfueling unless it's, I think it may just be coming out of the bowl. It's a bit difficult to say. Can you see that fuel dripping? Yeah, but I took the carb off. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you. That's where it's coming from before. Sorry, the camera's a little bit shaky from there. But I've sort of reseated. I've sort of a bit shaky like that, so I'll just. Yeah, I've reseated it. Just checked the bowl and took it out. Perhaps the float was a bit stuck. It's possible that could have been the problem. But I shall leave it for a few minutes and just see. Well, actually I'll leave it for a little while. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is it's a bit lower fuel now, but I think there should be enough in it, and that should solve the problem, you know, because there's no other reason why it shouldn't. It's a new carb. I know it's a cheap Chinese one, and I do have my it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with these carbs. They can be a bit of a pain, but what happens, they come not quite right, but they come nearly right. So you have to sometimes do little tweaks on them, like I had to with that choke, because there's no way I could get that rod in on how it come. So I had to sort of improvise and do that, which I show you on the other video. I've been on this afternoon. Where is it? Trying to find one. Oh, here. I bought this cheap carb. It's for my Etesia ride-on. Don't know whether that's been seen on this channel, but it is on the other one. I will show it on this channel. But I was trying to sort out the fuel system on that, because it leaked from the carb at the overflow, and it sort of misfired, didn't run smoothly. So I bought this carb, cheap one off eBay, about 10 delivered. It's for a GX 390. Well, the engine on that, I'm not sure of it, but it's a 390. So but this carb is the one to fit the other type engines, not the, it's to fit these type engines with the sort of side shaft out, not like the rotary ones. This is for that type, and I wanted to fit on the other type, but there's a few differences on this carb. One was them holes aren't big enough, so that's easy sorted. I would drill them out or just file them out, so that can be sorted. I did clean the old carb and try it back on today, but it still hasn't cured it. And the other problem was that bit was all right. Most was the same actually, but the bowl isn't on at the moment because that's on the old carb, because the old bowl was rusty. But I'm going to try this on now. But it's a choke. This wasn't on there. That bit wasn't on there. I've robbed this off of, I think, a little CGV, is it? 160 carb or something like that. I think it's something like that. You know what I mean? The little plastic top engines, the common ones they have on like the Easy. So it was like, not like that, yeah, a bit like that one. So I robbed it off of there, the little bit, and the black bit you can see there, and like the rod that goes through, and I managed to, I had to cut the slit out more to fit me little butterfly in. But the old one, I don't even know where it is. Oh, here it is. The old one was like that. I couldn't get the little rod in for the choke, so because there's nowhere really to hook it in, because it's meant to have, I'm not sure where it is. Oh yeah, it's meant to have that on top because you just manually do it. Well, I didn't want that. I wanted to work on the lever, so on the proper lever on the mower, so I didn't need that. And also as well, when that fits on, the air filter housing holds that down, otherwise it slips out. So on this mower that wouldn't have been no good, so I didn't go that way. I took that off, did away with that, but I had to, that's, you probably see the little slit there, I had to elongate that on this piece I put in. So now it's not working too bad at all. I've had to also cut that little bit off there because that's going to be, that's a little bit lower than it really should be, and that would have got in the way of the rod coming across. So I'm hoping that's going to do the trick now. It was a bit stiff before, so I had to sort of file little bits off it so it wasn't so stiff. But if I can get away with sorting out a carb for it for a tenner and a little bit of time, it's going to be a result. Because I would imagine if I bought genuine Honda, I wouldn't be surprised if it's near on £100. You know, I'd say anything from 60 to 100. So I'm hoping that's going to be okay. There's not too much I want to do on this really. I adjusted the speed, and that was just on a rod the other side, right in there at the back, the other side. That was easy enough to do. A few turns on that, and that solved that problem. So it's a bit faster now going forward. So it's a bit even now, because it reverses pretty fast going back and it's pretty fast going forward. So that's solved that. I want to give it an oil change. The filter's okay, but what's gone and happened, and I'm not so sure I think I actually did it when I tried to get the air. I don't know where it actually is at the moment. Oh yeah, that piece has come out of the plastic in the bottom piece. It should go in there. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll work something out. Either get some good glue stuff and glue it in or something. But this is looking good at the moment. It's not leaking. I can't feel no moisture on it at all. So I'll just let it sit there for a little while. Might have a little bit of a tidy up on the bench and that, and just see if it leaks, because there's no reason it shouldn't. But if the float had been stuck or something, then that would explain it. Oh, I'll be fuming here from the petrol now. Yeah, like I said, an oil change. I put a new belt on it not long after I had it, because when I got it, the old belt was uneven, so it was making the deck shake. What else is there to do on it? I'll probably give the blade a sharpen, but that probably won't be quite yet. I think it's quite good anyway. It don't feel bad, but I'll probably just take it off to just give that a sharpen. A bit of a clean up, because you can see I've collected a few leaves and that. An oil up, and then this will be ready for next season. Then I hope you use this one quite a lot next season. But yeah, that's looking good now. That would have definitely, when I started it today, it leaked a lot quicker than that, and there was a lot of moisture in where the carb is in there. So, well, what it was doing, I think, is coming out of there, and a little bit it was coming out from a little piece right in there on the top of where the main jet is. Hi again, I'm back on the Etesia. I thought I'd better get on with these last final jobs. One was the air filter. I showed you that piece there had pulled out. What I've decided to do, I've got a length of M6 stud, and I've managed to drill through where the bottom of the hole was and put a nut on the end there. So now that's just going to keep it lovely and solid. It can't sort of pull out from there. So that's just a quick little fix on there. It's slightly but it pulls straight. So when I put the little wing nut bit on at the top, that'll hold that all in place. So that'll be that sorted. I'm going to be moving on to the actual carb in a minute. I've got to put a spring on it. Well, I've got to try to put a spring on it. I'll show you that when I've done that. I'll do the air filter, get that finished, and then I'll have a look and see what I can do about this spring. It's actually on the choke bit there. I've got to fit a spring on it, but I don't think the carb's leaking now, so that's good news. I left it on for quite a while the other night and it didn't leak. So but what I did manage to do was kick over a tub of petrol that was down there in my foot, and the shed absolutely reeked of petrol, so that's gone now, otherwise I wouldn't have the fire on. Yeah, I'll just get the air filter done and then I'll show you what I'm going to do on the car. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, try and do now is that bit there, when it's on choke, it doesn't flick off. It needs to flick off. It runs off a spring there, you can't really see it very well, but and that spring isn't strong enough, because what it should have some sort of a spring on that to aid it going back. I started recording what I was going to do with the spring, which is now back in the tub because I haven't used it. So I couldn't fit it in because I had to alter that whole piece when I took it off that other carb. I couldn't use the spring because there wasn't like enough room to get it in. So what I've done is that bit there, if you can just see there on the side, I've shaved a little bit more of that off so it doesn't catch on the little like aluminium piece that comes up out the top of the carb where the spring would hook on. So it's easy, it moves easier now, and by doing that, I'll show you. It's a bit hard to explain, but you'll see it working now. There you go. There, that's choke on. You'll see. Where are we? You'll see there the choke is on. Try and reach over to the lever, and now choke's off. So that is actually, I'll show you from the top angle. That'll be, yep, choke on, and it's flicking off okay. So that spring at the back, which I show you, we can hardly see down there, that is actually doing the job now. So that's that job done now. This air filter, that will work well. And where are we? There is the little nut I put in. So the threaded M6 stud did a good job of that. So all I have to do now is bolt it back together, and I think that side of it's done. I've got over the little problems, and that's done. So and what will be the next job on that? I've done, if that's done and that's all successful, the carb, I've done that. I've done the speed so it was faster. I just adjusted a rod I told you at the back end. When I had it in the van, the steering stopped working. Well, what it was, I don't know how well you can see, but just in there, there's like a little clip, and the clip had come off, and the steering had dropped. It was easy to correct because I just pushed the clip back on, but now that is slightly in the wrong position, so I need to readjust that where the knob is. I think in the first place it was up round, yeah, when it's pointing forward it was up about there, and that was a nice position for me to use it. I don't know whether even perhaps that it should be level there, but anyway, where it was nice to use it. So what I should do, I should sit on it and then work out where's best for me. I think it was there, but then again I'm thinking now perhaps it was there, but I'm not 100% sure, but that's not much of a problem. I've got to top up the hydrostatic oil. I'm not going to change it, I'm just going to top that up, and I've still got to do the engine oil. I've unearthed in the drawer a new plug, so we have a new, I think this will be the one. It's just simply the standard Honda plug. I buy these ones, they're about £10 for 10, maybe a little bit more than that, £10–12 for 10. Made by Torch, a company called Torch, and I found them really good plugs. They're nice and cheap, so and I've never had a problem with them, so I use them. And then it'll just be a blade sharpen. So yeah, there'll be the engine oil and the blade sharpened, and then this will probably be put away for winter because this is the end of sort of end of the grass season now, and the leaves are nearly all finished, so I don't even need it for picking up them. So this will be put away ready for springtime. So yeah, I'll leave the video here at the moment. If there's anything else to, well, actually I will show you in the next part. I will show you it running and that, when the carbs are all back together and everything, and when it's all cleaned up and ready to put it away. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, there'll be another part of it just to finish off this little series of servicing the Etesia. There. So I'm going to work my way through my tools, and I'll show you if I think there's anything interesting as I'm servicing them. I'll sort of show you what I'm doing. So, and that'll be a good way for you to see what tools I've got as well. So yeah, so I'll leave it here then. So thanks for watching. I'll be along with another video again soon.